bitch, I'm just getting started! Last time we took a look at Beyblade, the only kind of cockfighting without the fun of animal cruelty. Beyblade was pretty popular back in those days, and because of its popularity, it was inevitable that we get... So someone looked at this and said, if we put this on a Game Boy... This little gem was released in 2001 for the not-successor to the Game Boy Color. The game opens up to you being welcomed to the world of Beyblade. You select your gender, name, and set the time and date. Gee, I wonder what this is trying to be. Anyways, after all that, we get into the game and... This is Chief, our guide throughout the game. He gives us a Beyblade and drags us all around town to introduce us to the townsfolk. By the way, Chief looks like he's skin cousin It and is wearing his remains as a wig. So after a hearty dose of... we finally get to see some actual gameplay. Despite this game having the exact same opening as any Pokemon game, Beyblade Fighting Tournament takes a different approach to its gameplay. Instead of exploring the world as a chibi boy, you see backgrounds representing locations with characters being shown through portraits. And instead of turn-based battles with some strategy to them, you get some of the most spectacularly redundant gameplay I've ever seen. There's really not much to this one, it's better left forgotten. You're a kid in 2010, you're watching cartoons on cable, and it cuts to a commercial break. Then you see this. I love that the soundtrack is trying to make this out to be something only the hardest of the hardcore delve into.
Every journey begins with one step. Every tournament requires you come equipped. Count down to let it rip.
These kids look like they'd shoot the tops at random passerbys for fun.
I've practiced. Prepared.
Yeah, I feel like practicing and preparing are pretty much the same, so you could have just used one or the other instead of using both, you fucking nerd.
Battled at BeybladeBattles.com.
Yeah, you hear that? That's how the pros do it. They practice, prepare, battled at BeybladeBattles.com. Obviously, our focus isn't the edgy 2010s commercial, but rather the game it advertised, BeybladeBattles.com, an online flash game allowing you to battle with other people around the world. You can make your own avatars, Beyblades, Bey wheels, and purchase themes from the Bey shop after inputting a code found in Beyblade products. Gameplay-wise, you launch your top into an arena and duke it out with an opponent. You can select different powers represented by these buttons, such as changing direction, shielding, boosting, etc. Once again, there's not a lot to this one, it's just Beyblades fighting online, but it's free, so I can forgive it for being basic. You can no longer access this game, however. It was taken down in 2014. Now, the last two games we looked at were budget titles, games that were meant to just keep consumer interest up in Beyblades, but what if we took a look at a game that was on the hottest console at the time? What, were you expecting me to scream? I already did that. This game starts up and immediately bombards me with a bunch of questions. What's my gender? Yes. What's my name? Yes. What Beyblade do I want? Yes. After all that, we're sent to the main menu, and as you can see, we have a slew of options to delve into, like... options? Oh yeah, and Tournament. Tournament is the main mode where we'll be spending most of our time, since it's where most of the single-player battles take place. Speaking of which, here's our first fight. Strap in, we're going in hot! This is honestly one of the most boring games I've ever played. There is absolutely no personality given to the presentation. Characters are represented through still images, and they look fine enough, till they slide across the screen with the grace of a deer on ice. Audio will randomly cut in and out, and the voice acting is just beautiful. I love when you do a good launch, he sounds mildly entertained, but if you do it poorly, he sounds like you just bumped into him and spilled his drink.
What a great launch! What a sweet launch!
Oh, and just listen to that music. Nope, this song totally doesn't get stale and repetitive. No sir. I find the gameplay to be the worst part. It begins with this little timing-based minigame, and if you do it right, your Beyblade will get a good spin. Okay, so far so good. Oh Jesus, what am I doing? No, don't do that. Fuck! The Beyblade will move all on its own, and you can kind of influence where it'll go. But not by much. It's so stiff. Obviously, your goal is to beat the other Beyblade, and there's a couple of ways you can pull this off. You can outlast it, knock it out of the stadium, or make it explode. You do this by smacking into it, however, if you hit the X button at the right moment of impact, this meter will go up. Once it's past 30, you can hit the square button to perform a special attack. These moves give you a boost in spin and deal some serious damage to the opponent. They're also a nice bit of visual variety, because most of the time you're looking at this still, lifeless camera angle of a stock Beyblade stadium. Overall, this game just isn't that fun to play. Its presentation is terrible, the music is forgettable, the gameplay is bare bones. But at least you can still customize the Beyblade. Now the game can suck in a variety of different ways.
This game did get a sequel, but only in Japan. It was called Bakuten Shoot Beyblade Battle Tournament 2. Just rolls right off the tongue.
What's your gender?
Yes.
Oh wow. Oh wow, this is fun? I'm having fun? This is much better than the original. For starters, the music is actually good. It's nothing groundbreaking, of course, but I'll take this over whatever the first game had any day. Character portraits move much faster, DJ sounds very enthusiastic compared to the last time where he sounded like he hated f***ing existing, and the gameplay has been improved exponentially. It's basically the exact same idea, but with the one biggest change being the control. The Beyblade will actually go where you want it to, and the bays themselves don't spiral all around in an unpredictable fashion. The meter for special attacks returns, but now it has 3 phases with each one varying in strength. The attacks look way cooler too now. It cuts to a black backdrop focusing on the opponent getting slammed by your top over and over again. The meter also fills up much faster, resulting in far more hectic gameplay. The camera doesn't stay in a static position the entire time either. It follows the bays around, which is really nice, and the stadium variety makes things far more interesting to look at for long periods of time. I also like that the Beyblades tilt down on the slopes of the stadiums, giving the game a nice illusion of depth. The only issue I have with the game is the gameplay can get repetitive after a while because this is all you're doing, and the special attacks will eventually get redundant. But overall, this is a decent little experience. I like it.
Not gonna lie, this game is pretty great. I wonder why we never got it overseas.
The last game we're taking a look at is Beyblade V-Force for the GameCube. It's just a better looking version of the 2 PS1 games. Got the same gameplay, basic controls, timing-based minigames, special attacks, but it looks much better and the best of the bunch in terms of control. The only thing they really changed was...
Oh no, its power is gone! Stadium out! It stopped spinning! No, its power is gone! No, its power is gone!
This game hates the concept of me being happy. This is ridiculous. If there is one thing you don't want to start any game with, it's a grind session just to progress. Before, you could get decently far with the stock Beyblade before having to make any real adjustments, which is a good thing. Now you need to make modifications from the get-go, otherwise you're going to lose over and over and over again. And I really wish they'd innovate more with the concept of magical tops fighting each other. How about a huge flat arena with obstacles to dodge and different parts of the Beyblade can do different attacks? But nah, let's just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Kids won't notice. It's not a bad game. The presentation is the best out of all 3. The main menu was replaced with this little hub area featuring chibi boys. We've come full circle. The music's decent, the voice acting is good. Overall, the game's not bad. I just wish they innovated more. It's nothing more than just a better version of the 2 PS1 games. What you see is what you get.
That about sums up all Beyblade games, honestly. These early Beyblade games never try anything new. They're always just like, take the real-life game and put it into a video game. But a video game can be so much more. The devs could have made a game with large open arenas with all sorts of obstacles to avoid while fighting each other, and different parts can actually alter the Beyblade's performance. So custom robo. But these games never surpass my expectations. They're always just like, oh yeah, that's Beyblade on Game Boy. Did you, like, staple your head back on, or? Square up, bitch!
A few moments later.
You piece of shit! Fuck you! This is why your parents don't like you! My parents fucking love